Hello there. Happy Happy Thursday to you. Bill O'Leary here, coming to you live as part of our what we call our Thirsty Thursday series. Every Thursday at this time, I'm going to be talking about a topic of interest as it relates to estate planning. So, if you're thirsting for knowledge and information, then you found the right place. Now, today's topic is how to choose an estate planning attorney. You know, estate planning is very important, but most people, and I put myself in that category, we tend to procrastinate. In fact, more than half of people, in fact, I think the statistics are about 6 in 10, people don't even have a simple will in place. And so you don't really want to leave to chance, the opportunity to put a solid estate plan in place where you can say who's going to get what. A solid plan is going to keep your loved ones from getting bogged down in the court system, the probate court system after you die, and a solid plan is going to protect the kid's inheritance from divorce and lawsuit. You also don't want to leave to chance putting important tools in place if you become incapacitated, things like powers of attorney and advance medical directives. So, how do you choose an estate planning attorney? Well, last week, as part of this Thirsty Thursday series, I talked about how it's a bad idea trying to do this yourself or even trying to do it online, and so why it's so important to get professional help from a competent estate planning attorney. So how do you find that right help? How do you choose an estate planning attorney? That's today's topic, so let's dive in. So as I thought about this and put some thoughts down, it's probably best to first talk about things you should do before things you should look for. So the things you should do, first and foremost, is research. You are your own best friend. You are your most able partner to be able to to get the information that you need. So do your research. As you're looking at different attorneys, find out how long have they been a lawyer. Are they just out of law school in the past couple of years and may not have had the benefit of a broad range of experiences in client situations? How long have they been doing estate planning? Okay, have they just been doing it for a year or two, or maybe they just sort of got into it later on? Another very important question to ask is, okay, fine, you do estate planning, but is that your primary focus? Is that the primary focus of your practice, or are you sort of a jack of all trades where you might do a little bit of wills, you might do a little bit of divorce law, maybe some real estate, some criminal, that sort of thing. Avoid the jack of all trades. And I will tell you here at my firm, Legacy Planning Law Group, we are not a jack of all trades. We focus almost exclusively on estate planning and elder law, and then handling people's estates after they pass away, called probate and estate administration. So again, find out, is their primary focus on estate planning? You should, I think, then ask whether the attorney has some experience in handling probate matters. Well, what's probate? Well, probate is where the estate does get bogged down in the court system, where things can go wrong and all sorts of messes can happen. In fact, I left a client meeting about an hour and a half ago, and it is chock full of messes. Well, why might it be important for the estate planning attorney that you consider working with also work in the area of probate? Because they have firsthand experience on how things can go wrong when good planning is not done. So I think the fact that that attorney sees the wrong side of things helps inform them on how to do things right. Now, how about word of mouth, referrals? Talk to families and friends. And I can tell you that if family and friends have dealt with an estate planning attorney before and they've had a good experience, they'll tell you. And if they've had a bad experience, they'll really tell you that. How about talking to financial professionals? I think like financial advisors, accountants, bankers, maybe insurance agents, because a lot of these people have attorney relationships that they will refer their clients to good, competent estate planning attorneys. Another place you might want to look for is their website, and not all websites are made equal. You know, some look like they were put together in 1998 and they haven't changed since. I'm fairly proud of our website, legacyplanninglawgroup.com, and we get lots of great feedback from clients that it's a great website to come to start the we call the legacy experience. How about social media? Social media. You know, the way that an attorney appears on social media will give you a pretty good sense of what it will be like to work with them. And obviously you have some exposure to our social media here being on our Facebook page. Reviews. Does the attorney have reviews? Google reviews primarily, maybe Facebook reviews on the website and so forth. And that'll give you a real good indication, because if other people have had good experiences, so much so that they're willing to give a good review, then you can take some comfort in knowing that this attorney has worked well with other people in the past. So the bottom line is, do your homework. First and foremost, it's vital to choosing an estate planning attorney. So then once you've done your homework, the next thing is to focus on things that you should look for in an attorney. First, how about the atmosphere? Is the office warm and inviting? Okay. How does the receptionist answer the phone? And just a quick shout out to our client service director, Cindy, who is the person that people talk to first when calling in. I can't tell you how many people have said, "Oh my gosh, Cindy is great." And when you come into our office, it's such a warm and inviting experience in our lobby there with Cindy. How about the demeanor and personality of the attorney as well as the staff? Are they pleasant? Are they down to earth? I think most all of us would rather deal with pleasant people and people who are down to earth than people that are in a bad mood all the time. Are they understanding and empathetic? Are they understanding, empathetic? And here's a big one, especially for the lawyers. Do they listen? Do they listen to you? Lawyers, I think, tend to fall into a really bad habit of being really bad listeners. They love to talk, but they don't like to listen. Is the attorney a good listener? Because that is the only way the estate planning attorney can really understand what is concerning you, what you want to accomplish to make sure the planning is as best as it can be for you. How about this one? Does the attorney and the staff make eye contact? Eye contact is so critical. I can tell you just from my standpoint, I really don't like it when people don't make eye contact with me, and sort of the situation that's coming to mind is in some sort of group event and somebody's talking to you, and then you're right in the middle of a sentence and then their eyes dart away from you and they're looking for somebody else in the room to go talk to next. I really can't stand that. So I like to sort of return the favor and make good eye contact with clients. Does the attorney, here's another one, does the attorney speak in plain English? People that go to law school, I think a lot of times they go into law school knowing how to speak like a normal person, and they come out sort of forgetting how to speak like a normal person, and they speak with all these legalese and this legal jargon, okay? Does the attorney know how to speak in plain English? And again, I hate to sort of, toot my horn, but I can't tell you how many times people have said, particularly at the end of an initial meeting, "Oh my gosh, Bill, I now understand. You explained that so simply. You put it in terms that I could understand." And so I don't like it when other people talk to me in terms I can't understand. For example, I've called out my CPA several times over the years saying, "Stop, put that in plain English." And so, again, find out, is the attorney putting things in plain English for you? What about the process that the attorney and the firm use? Is it truly comprehensive planning that they do, or are they just focused on just getting you a power of attorney or a will and just be done with it? And so case in point, you can have the best estate plan in the world and been carefully thought out who's going to get what and when and so forth, and you have it all laid out. Let's say you have a will or a trust, beautiful. But what happens if between that point and the time that you die, you get really sick, or you become disabled or incapacitated, or you develop, dementia or so forth, and everything that you've spent a lifetime saving up, by the time that you put that will or trust together, ends up being spent on long-term care. And when you die, you've got nothing left to show for it. So that well thought out estate plan and who's going to get what basically is all for naught, because there's nothing left to pass on. So long-term care planning. So I'll have that conversation with clients once we finish the planning process. I will basically say, now, that's great. We've spent a lot of time together putting this in place, but don't you want to make sure that what you have today is going to be there when you pass away, so it could be passed on the way that you want, the way that you've laid out? Well, what happens if you get sick? How are you going to pay for it? So at that point, I'll often introduce them to somebody that can help them with long-term care planning. So that's one example of the comprehensive planning that you want to find out if the attorney provides that. The process. Are there specific steps in the process? What about the means of communication? How is the firm going to communicate with you? Is it going to be email? Is it going to be phone? Is it going to be in-person meetings and so forth? How many touch points will they have with you? How often will they touch you? And I will tell you, I'm a big believer in process. We have several touch points all throughout the process that are supposed to occur at specific times, and we have systems in place to make sure that those touch points occur at the designated time. So touch points. How often is the firm going to, be in contact with you? How about are you able to review the drafts that are put together, the drafts of the legal documents? How about this in terms of the process? Does the firm rely on sort of a team approach? Okay? I will tell you that we are a big believer in team. We like to call ourselves Team Legacy. I work here with 4 other women, and I tell new clients, in fact, we hand them a sort of a handout that has pictures of all 5 team members with our titles and contact information, and I say, here at the firm, you're not just dealing with me, but you're dealing with the team, and you will be interacting with every single team member throughout the process. So team approach. I think clients are best served by a team approach. How about follow-up? Does the firm provide good follow-up? So case in point, let's say you put a trust in place. Well, once it's in place, that's great, but you've only sort of gone halfway. You've gone halfway. Well, now it's important to make sure that the trust is funded. The assets are put into the trust, whether it's retitling assets or whether it's making sure that beneficiary designations on life insurance or retirement accounts or so forth that are properly worded to match up with your trust. Okay? Most lawyers don't do that, don't have that follow-up. I will tell you that we do that. In fact, we have an asset alignment coordinator on staff. She comes into the office every day with that on the front of the brain. So ask the question, do you provide that follow-up? Because if that follow-up is not done and the assets are not properly retitled or the beneficiary designation is not properly aligned, then all that hard work you've done putting that trust in place is all for naught. And I guess finally, in terms of process, to ask them this sort of general question, do you have a specific process that you use for your planning? Okay? If the answer is no, I think that is very, very telling, because that would be a reflection of the quality of the work product. We have a very specific process that we have here called our Family, Estate, and Legacy program. And since, as I understand it, with Facebook Live, I can't share my screen, I'm going to go real old school on you. And I'm going to, if you could see this right here, this is we call it our wheel. It's 7 steps. I guess it goes this way. And it's 7 steps in the planning journey, and I always show this to every client at the first meeting. This is the process we're going to go through. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's a nice visual to see the beginning point and the ending point of the process and every step in between. And clients are really gratified to know, boy, you do have a specific process that you follow. You really got your you-know-what together. And so it gives clients greater comfort. So ask the question. It doesn't have to be this, but ask the attorney the question: do you have a specific process that you follow? Okay. Then another thing to find out is price. Obviously, price is a very important factor. Well, ask, how do you structure your pricing? Is it a flat fee, or is it by the hour? And I will tell you, we happen to do flat fee pricing because we think clients much prefer that. And in fact, it's not just flat fee, but it's a flat fee with no hidden add-on fees. So it is a truly out-the-door price. So the client knows this is what I'm paying and no more. Also find out, okay, for the initial consultation, are you charging for the initial consultation or are you not? Okay. We generally do not charge for initial consultations if we know that the person that's coming in is seriously committed to the process as opposed to just coming in to kick the tires. How about turnaround time? How quickly can they turn things around? The more quickly the plan can be turned around, the more efficient that they are, and the more of an indication that the firm has it together. Okay, and when they make a promise of a turnaround time, do they keep that promise? Do they keep that promise? So turnaround time. How about support staff? Support staff. Again, I've told you we're a big believer in team legacy, and every member of the team is very important. Ask the lawyer, do you have a team, or am I just dealing with you and nobody else? And is your team, if you do have a team, how skilled are they? Another thing you may want to ask for is the support staff. Actually, I just mentioned support staff. How about ongoing relationship? So is the attorney coming into this just viewing this as a one-off transaction? They just want to basically, get you a power of attorney or a will and be done with it. Or is the attorney more interested in an ongoing relationship, knowing that really is in your best interest, an ongoing relationship, okay? And so actually here at the Legacy Planning Law Group, we have a very unique program called our Client Care program, that is perfectly tailored for that continuing relationship so that clients' plans can adapt and change over time if circumstances change. And then lastly, and this comes down to just your gut, is it a good fit? Do you feel it's a good fit? Do you have a certain comfort level with the attorney and the staff? So much so that you're willing to share personal information with them. Do you have a good rapport? What's your first impression like? First impressions are lasting. Trust your gut. Because a lot of times, that first impression, that your gut will turn out to be right. So trust it. If you're getting a good vibe, then go with it. If you're not, then don't. So those are just some things I sort of thought of as I pulled together for you to help guide you on how to find a good estate planning attorney. If you're interested in talking to us further, I'd encourage you to book a call. Go to the main Legacy Planning Law Group Facebook page and select the Book Now button, where we can talk to you about how to choose an estate planning attorney, talk to you about how our clients have gone through the process of choosing us and how they've been very happy with the choice, and then see if we might be a good fit. And again, we do that on a complimentary basis. Or you could call us at the office at 904-880-5554, 880-5554, or just Google us, Legacy Planning Law Group. So with that, I hope you've enjoyed this talk on how to choose an estate planning attorney. I plan on giving another Facebook Live talk again next Thursday afternoon at the same time as part of our Thirsty Thursday series. So save the day and time, different topic. Don't know what it's going to be yet. So again, if you're thirsty for knowledge, we will certainly quench your thirst. So this is Bill O'Leary signing off for now on behalf of the entire team here at Legacy Planning Law Group, what we like to call Team Legacy. Want to thank you for spending some time with us, and make it a great day.